Welcome to Life and Fatherhood, the podcast where new dads like you find community, insight, and practical tips to navigate the incredible journey of fatherhood. I'm your host, Alonzo Williams Jr., and I'm here to bring you valuable conversations with fellow dads who share their wisdom and experience. Whether you're looking for advice, inspiration, or just a place to connect with other fathers, you are in the right place. Ready to dive in? Let's get started. All right. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Life and Fatherhood. I am your host, Alonzo Williams Jr. In today's episode, we will be getting into how to manage stress in fatherhood. Also, this is season 3, episode 1. So if you've been here for the past 2 seasons, I appreciate your support. Hopefully, this will continue to bless you and help you on your fatherhood journey. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's episode. So, today's episode, like I mentioned, is going to be over different ways of managing your stress as a father in this fatherhood journey. Give you a quick little story. Recently had my oldest have a, I won't say a meltdown, but he was very, very upset over not being able to play with his brother's toy. Now, one thing about my oldest is that he has very strong emotions. Like when he's happy, he's really happy. When he's mad, boy, he is really mad. When he is sad, it is a stinker, you know. But it is at the same time, of course, I look at it from a godly perspective that, of course, God allowed my son to have these strong emotions, but because it also allows him to have great empathy. He can kind of read people's emotions, knows how to approach people to make their day better. But he also knows how to get under people's skin. So it's a blessing. But anyway, I digress. Saw he wanted to play with his brother's toy, wasn't able to, or really wasn't allowed to, and he had a whole fit. Now, one thing about me is loud noises, such as screaming and even like those screechy cries, takes my nervous system through the roof, right? So in that moment where I just wanted to, I guess you could say, grab him by the shoulders and get him to understand you can't do that. I decided to do something different. Take a step back, take a deep breath, get on his level. Take a knee. It's good to take a knee with the kids, show them that you're close, that you're near, and just say, hey, you got to remember, it's not your toy. Now, what you can do is ask him to borrow your toy and wait for him to stop playing. And, once he's finished playing with it, you can go ahead and play with it. Now, in the moment, of course, when they're high in those high emotion stage, they're not trying to hear that. But thankfully, um, with some time and convincing, he learned to say, okay, I'm gonna let it go and I'll do what dad says this time. Now, I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't taken these steps that I've recently been implementing into my life. One of them being family workouts. So, you know, one thing I did was I always like to work out by myself. It is a great way for me to kind of like therapy for me to work out by myself. But I recently started going on family walks, with the wife and kids. And I will say that that is another level of therapy. Because one thing I realize is like it's not just me being stressed out, the wife is stressed out, and the kids are stressed out, believe it or not. Because we're around each other all the time. As you all know, my wife's stay-at-home mom and she homeschools the boys. So we're around each other all the time, different personalities. Kids want their way, parents want their way, it gets stressful. Those daily walks have been transformational in that it helps all of us regulate our nervous system. When we're finished with our, whether it's a morning walk or evening walk, when we get done and we come back home, it just feels like the energy in the home is just way different. It's way, way, way different. So I encourage you all to whether it's, a quick 30-minute walk for the day, or even if it's a strength training session, because we do like to do push-ups and squats, burpees with the kids as well. Um, but some form of doing it together just to get our bodies moving and release all of that cortisol out of our system, right? Next thing I've done with it is been next thing I've done to help regulate stress in my life. I've implemented certain supplements that have been very crucial for my mental health, such as vitamin 3 and K2 helps a lot with that energy boost as well as mood boost. Um, this other one that I take, I don't take it every night, but like, those days where I might be pushing a little hard, whether it's strength training or cardio, melatonin gummies with cherry tart and D3 for muscle recovery. So if you're, for all my dads out there who might be a little bit more on the physical side of life, might be working more of like a labor position on your feet a lot, I encourage you to take one of these. That way you can get the proper rest and energy that you'll need for the next day. It's been great for me. Um, really life changing for sure. All right. Now the last one here that's helped me recently, just these past couple weeks, you know, I feel like it's something that we've all heard, but it is something that's hard to practice. But I'm just gonna say it again because it is true. But letting the kids grow without like trying to control every single thing that they do. Especially for all my fathers out there with strong-willed kids or strong-willed boys, as you know, they want to do everything, they want to touch everything they're not supposed to touch, and it can be very stressful trying to keep them safe at times. But one thing I've learned is like, listen, sometimes it's well, not even sometimes, it's very important to just step back and let them live their life, go through their experiences. So that way they can, you know, Lord willing, they become fathers and have to teach their children, you know, they will have something to fall back on rather than just dad's words. Don't get me wrong, our words matter, but it's another level of weight when you're able to speak from experience. So it's good to let them make mistakes, do stuff that doesn't even make sense. I'll even say, hey, I'll say this, take it or leave it. But even if it costs you money sometimes, there have been plenty of times where we'll go out, we'll find something that we know the boys will love. Like they're really into this building phase right now. I won't say a phase, but they're very interested in working with their hands, which I love. And we have to come out of pocket different ways. Whether it's buying them certain tools, taking them to different workshops, or what have you. But you know, giving them that extra exposure to different sides of life has helped them in a lot of ways of regulating their emotions, learning to talk to different people, learning to listen and things like that. It's a different experience, but it's good. All right. So those are the three main things I really want you all to take away from today's episode in regards to just managing your stress. Get to moving. If you find it hard to exercise, because your family is, wanting your attention or whatever it is, then do a family workout. Nothing wrong with doing a quick little 30-minute running around or walk around the neighborhood. Or you and the wife can trade off. The wife can hang out with the kids while you go exercise, and you come back and you hang out with the kids while she exercises. Nothing wrong with that. All right. Now, here's the biggest thing that the diet situation like really taught me though. At the end of the day, he was really just being a kid. He's young, new to life, and he's feeling with all these emotions that he doesn't really understand or know what to do with. So instead of trying to force him to grow up and think about it like an adult, really had to like I said, take a step back, breathe, and just try to have him look at it from a different perspective. Just say, hey, don't be mad, it's not yours, get out the way. How about you try it this way? How about you just ask him to borrow the toy or excuse me, not the dice, but yeah, the toy. Ask him to borrow the toy. And if he says yes, then you get to play with it. If not, then you just have to wait until, he's ready to let you play with it. Sometimes those little conversations go a long way. All right. So we're going to break it down one more time. Number one, we're going to fix sleep. We're going to make sure to move our bodies. Of course, we got to take care of our health, got to hydrate, eat better, find the right supplements for you. You know, um, for you out there, I highly encourage you to get some magnesium glycinate. Really, really good for muscle recovery. Really, really good to help you. Really, really good to help you get the rest and the energy that your body needs. All right. Next, I will say, if you need to talk to somebody. You know, whether it's a wife, a parent, a friend, whoever it is. Don't carry all that by yourself. Be willing to talk to somebody or even be willing to write it down. All right. So that's pretty much it for today's episode. I hope that this episode today has blessed you. Listen, at the end of the day, fatherhood, it ain't about being perfect. It's about showing up. Even when you're tired, even when stuff goes left, even when, your 2 year old is out here feeding the dog gum like it's normal. Man, I'm gonna save that story for another time. Yeah, but make sure your dogs don't chew any gum. But yeah, hope that this episode has blessed you. Be on the lookout for other episodes in the future. Please feel free to check out Life in Fatherhood at navigatingpostpartumwellness.com. Be sure to look at all of our articles and blogs that are available to you and your family. Have a lot of helpful tips as well as a lot of helpful content out there that will make your journey through marriage and fatherhood worthwhile. With that being said, love you. Hope you're doing great and talk to you next time. Thank you for tuning in to Life in Fatherhood. I hope today's episode gave you some valuable insight and new ideas for your own fatherhood journey. For more tips, blogs, and downloadable resources to support your wellness and leadership at home, visit lifeinfatherhood.com. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review if you enjoy the show. Until next time, keep leading and embracing every moment of fatherhood.